When I walked into the garden today, I thought the heat had won. Several of my crops were drooping. Some looked like they were struggling to make it through the day. But as I kept walking, I started noticing something else. Something that completely changed how I saw the garden. This morning, I decided to take a slow walk through the garden. No planting, no digging, and no major plans. Just a chance to see how everything was doing. Sometimes when you're working in a garden every day, you stop noticing the small changes. You become focused on the next task, the next seedling, the next bed, the next problem that needs solving. So today, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to simply look. As I walked through the backyard, the first thing I noticed was the heat. Not just the temperature, the effect of it. The sun has been strong lately, and some of the plants were showing signs of stress. The Callaloo was one of the first things that caught my attention. The leaves looked tired, not dead, not beyond recovery, just tired, like a person who has spent too much time standing in the midday sun. It's amazing how quickly a healthy plant can change its appearance when conditions become difficult. A few hours without water can make a plant look completely different. And if you are new to gardening, those moments can make your heart sink. You start wondering if you've done something wrong. You start questioning every decision. Did I water enough? Did I water too much? Is the soil holding moisture? Is the heat becoming too much? Those questions come naturally. But gardening has a way of teaching patience. I always say that. Sometimes a drooping plant is simply asking for water, not sounding an alarm, just sending a message. As I continued walking, something else caught my eye. The flowers. While some of the crops looked stressed, the flowers seemed completely unfazed. Bright colors stood out against the greenery. Different color blooms, small clusters of color scattered throughout the garden. And around those flowers, life was happening. I noticed a bee moving carefully from flower to flower. Its entire world seemed focused on collecting what it needed. No rush, no panic, just purpose. Watching it for a few moments reminded me how much activity exists in a garden that we rarely notice. Most of the time we focus on the harvest, the vegetables, the fruit, and the things we can eat. But there is an entire ecosystem working quietly around us. The flowers attract pollinators. The pollinators help the plants. The plants provide shelter. And everything becomes connected. A little later, I spotted a lizard resting among the plants, completely still, almost invisible until it moved. One moment I thought I was looking at leaves. The next moment I realized I was looking at another resident of garden. It's funny how gardens can surprise you like that. You walk outside expecting to inspect your crops. Instead, you find yourself watching wildlife. And before you know it, 10 minutes have passed. As I moved farther through the garden, I came across the Pak Choi. The heat had clearly affected it too. The leaves weren't standing as proudly as they normally do. Again, it was another reminder that gardening isn't always about perfect growth. Sometimes it's about responding to challenges like too much rain or not enough rain, or there's too much heat and unexpected pests. Every season brings something different, and every gardener learns to adapt. But what I found interesting today was the contrast. On one side of the garden, plants were asking for help. On the other side, flowers were blooming. Bees were working, lizards were hunting, life was continuing. The garden wasn't telling one story. It was telling many stories all at once. And maybe that's one of the reasons I enjoy spending time out here. A garden reflects real life. Not everything succeeds at the same time. Not everything struggles at the same time either. Some things are growing, some things are recovering, some things are resting, some things are flourishing. When you step back and look at the whole picture, you begin to appreciate that balance. I think sometimes we focus too much on what's going wrong. I know I do. A drooping plant catches my attention immediately. A healthy plant often goes unnoticed. Today reminded me to look at both, to notice the challenges without ignoring the beauty, to acknowledge the problems without forgetting the progress, because there is progress here. The seedlings are growing, the flowers are blooming, the garden is attracting pollinators. The soil is teaching me lessons. Even the mistakes are teaching me something. Every day in the garden adds another piece to the puzzle, and every season brings new understanding. As I finished my walk, I realized I hadn't really come outside to accomplish anything. I wasn't checking tasks off a list. I wasn't trying to finish a project. I was simply observing. And sometimes observation is valuable too. Sometimes the best thing you can do is slow down long enough to see what is already happening around you. Today I saw drooping crops, I saw bright flowers, I saw a bee at work, I saw a lizard hiding among the leaves, I saw signs of stress, I saw signs of growth, and together they painted a picture of a garden that is very much alive. Not perfect, not finished, not always thriving, but alive. And for today, that's enough.